This is Judge Williams, and this is his fourth premiere at the Sarasota Film Festival. So, Judge, what does it feel like? I mean, you're getting to be a regular staple around here in the film industry.
Well, it's our fourth event here, but it always feels like the first time. So we're really excited to see the people out. We're really excited to show people this film. It's been 2-3 years in the making, so we're a little bit nervous, but we're happy it's finally come to fruition.
And perhaps because the film is about American dreams and immigration, perhaps this is the most timely.
It is, and we were very lucky with the timing on this. When we started to put this together 2 or 3 years ago, we knew that immigration was an issue, but it wasn't as big of an issue as it has become lately. So the timing has been really, really good. We hope it inspires some conversation. We don't want to take a real political stance on this. We just want to sort of present the facts, present it in a way that people will foster some sort of discussion among themselves and maybe come up with some solutions to these issues.
Do you think that perhaps the people that are out there watching us may not know, if they haven't actually experienced it with their own families, just how challenging it is to come to a new place, a different country, and leave everything that you know, including even the language that you've been speaking?
Well, that's why we were excited about this film, because they tell the story of what it's like coming to a new country, not being able to speak the language, not understanding the culture, and then somehow making that work to become full-fledged Americans in every sense of that word. So it sort of gives a personal feeling to that idea of what it's like. And the stories that are told are really compelling and really personal, and we're really lucky that they were able to express themselves so well on film.
Do you think that this film may push people that are on the fence of not really understanding what it's like to be an immigrant, that it might actually bring them over to the side of a little bit more tolerance and understanding?
I think what it'll show is that the people that come to the country for the same reasons everybody else has come to this country, and that is for an opportunity to present a better life for themselves and their families and their futures. I think what it just tells people is that they're just like you and just like me. They have the same dreams, same goals. They may come from different places, but they're American in that sense of the word.
And all having the American dream.
That's correct.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Lourdes, I understand that you are featured in this documentary about the American dream. Tell me what it's like and how long ago did you come here from another country? Where did you come from?
I came from Havana, Cuba. I came in 1966 with my parents and been living in Bradenton, Florida since 1985. Durand Adams approached me to do this film, and I'm so passionate about everything that has happened in my life. I was 14 years old when I arrived. I studied and was in the regime of Castro, so I have a lot to share in the film that I hope people will understand, that immigration has made my life much better.
You know, coming here as a 14-year-old is challenging enough as it is. You're young, a girl going through hormonal changes, and then you have to go to a country where English isn't your first language. Did you speak English when you got here?
Before Castro took over, English was taught in all the schools from kindergarten level. When Castro took over, I was in 8th grade. So I knew enough to make it, enough to go to school and enroll. My mother did not. My parents did not speak English. I did, a little bit, just enough to get by, just enough to sign in school and go to the store and solve it for them.
Why is it important that you share your story where you have now an audience of people? What do you hope it's going to do to their minds when they meet you on film?
I hope that my story will make everybody understand that immigration is not what people think it is, that immigration makes, when someone comes to this country from another country, it is because their parents want to give the child a better life. And it has made my life wonderfully nice. My brother, myself, my parents, we had an awful, just an amazing time.
How proud are you to be in America and an American?
I am proud of an American. We could not wait enough to be an American. We took our oath in 1972, and we are very proud to be Americans.
I would say the one last question that I'd like to ask you is of the most challenging thing, though, because it's not all American dreams. There are some things that may be a little challenging.
The most challenging that I had when I moved to Miami, you understand, in 1966, Miami was not as Hispanic as it is today. And the challenging was, of course, school. I had a lot of challenges to overcome. I had to study twice as hard as everyone. I was not held back in any grade because my little English allowed me to pass all my grades. But the way that Americans behave are different than Cubans, and the adjustment was difficult at 14.
But not everybody is welcoming. There are some that are not. What would you say to enlighten people to welcome immigrants right now?
People should not judge by the whole. There are good people in every country. There are good Cubans. There are Cubans that are not quite good. Everyone give them the chance to prove themselves.
And we are very proud to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Judge Durand Adams was also involved in the making of this particular project, American Dreams. Judge, why did you get involved with this? You said you don't do this for a living.
We try to find a subject that is interesting to ourselves, mainly out of curiosity. So about 3 years ago, we started discussing doing a movie about immigration in the large sense of the word, in the large sense of the large context of the immigration issues. So it turned out, as we talked to more and more people who were from different places, mostly Hispanic, that we started narrowing the subject down to this iteration of immigration that's going on in America today, mostly Hispanic immigration. Well, when we started making the movie, this is not a political movie, and so the current political situation was not in existence.
Well, how has the movie changed during the making of it then, because it wasn't finished that long ago?
The movie really didn't change that much. It's the eternal story about immigration, which has been a constant story through almost all of the different waves of immigration into America. One thing that has never changed is the reason why people decide to leave the countries of origin, leave the places where they were born and grew up. And they leave because of fear, persecution, or hopeless poverty. Another thing that's remained constant over all of these years, no matter what iteration of immigration we're talking about, is that mostly people want to go in one direction, and that's the direction of America. So why do people want to come to America? Because America is the land of hope and opportunity. And that's really what everybody wants in their life. They want a chance to have a better life for themselves, and most importantly, their family and children. It's an eternal story.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Charles, you have been the recipient of awards for the Sarasota Film Festival many, many times.
Well, when we say awards, we've been very fortunate that our film has premiered here on 4 different occasions. This is our 4th presentations with our great partners, the Sarasota Film Fest, and we couldn't be happier.
Now, this film, American Dreams, though, is very close to your heart because you said that you brought in 2 women that had never met each other before. Why is this special?
Well, I think immigration is an important story to tell, and the reason being is that we are a nation of immigrants. We all come from a rich history of immigration for generations after generation. So our idea was to present personal stories of immigration, and that's, I think, what we've tried to accomplish today.
What were some of the things during the filming of American Dreams that you found that pulled on your heartstrings?
Well, I think the struggle, and people come to and immigrate from the country for a variety of different reasons: fear, poverty, persecution, and what they try to overcome to make a better life for themselves, for their families, for their children. It's important to know the struggle.
What do you hope that people take away from this? Because they're going to see some of this struggle via your 2 ladies.
And that's a very good question, Alex. And let me tell you a thing. I think what people to take away is an understanding that immigration is very complicated. No one wants illegal immigration with people streaming in, but no one wants to have a person turned away or barred simply because they're trying to flee fear or persecution or poverty. I want people to take a look at the personal stories of immigration, and I think that's what we've tried to do.
Do you think also that people don't really want to leave their country of origin? I mean, it has to be a pretty bad situation for someone to want to pick up and pack up their things and leave.
You're exactly right, and that's what makes people want to immigrate. And I think our overriding story is, why do they want to come to America? And America has been that beacon, that bastion of hope for years and generations, and that's why it's important to know that America has always been like that, and perhaps it always should be.
Now, it's wonderful, we love America, but during the filming of this, was there anything that wasn't quite what these women anticipated when they were coming for their dreams?
Well, I think what we have is it's not an easy path, and I think someone says that in the field. There is no easy path on the way to America. It is steps and struggle, and to immerse yourself in the culture, to become part of the melting pot. So there's a wide variety of things that are important, that are essential.
And the most important thing about this is to possibly open the minds of people that are watching this, to give them a fly-on-the-wall look at what happens.
I think so. I think we don't have no solutions. We're not saying that this is a solution. What we're trying to examine is what immigration is, and why we are a nation of immigrants, and why it's important to understand the immigration story.
Perhaps this documentary from METV will be required viewing down the road to enlighten some people. That could be a hope.
Again, I've got to be very fortunate and thank the Sarasota Film Festival for all their efforts. It's our 4th premiere here of our documentaries, and I think it's really important for people to see documentaries that ask questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Jim Delgado is a community leader, and he's also involved in the film American Dreams. Jim, why are you so involved in the Sarasota Film Festival and in this film?
Well, I have a story to tell. I'm a first generation born here. My parents came from, one came from Mexico, one came from Puerto Rico. And they were doing this on immigration, so I think the judge approached me. I mean, I've lived it. I don't have to read about it. I mean, that was my life growing up here. I'm from a border town, so what better place to express my story from a border town?
How did what your parents went through as immigrants coming here help pave the way for you?
Oh, well, they did everything. The sacrifice is theirs, right? I mean, the first ones that come here are the ones that have the really bad jobs, they get made fun of, And then we kind of just reap the rewards. You know, after my parents come here and their sacrifice, it's kind of, they make it easy for me. But what they teach us is not everything's for free. You know, it takes a lot of work and it's hard to get there. And you kind of tend to develop a pretty thick skin.
So many times we hear of people that have immigrated to this country from other countries where it's not quite as easy, that they seem to do well, and their second generation does incredibly well. Do you think that there's lessons to be learned about coming from other places to here where things are a little bit easier? You still have to work very hard.
Oh, you mean when they come here? Well, because when you have to suffer and you have to sacrifice and you know what you have, so when you come here, when we're raised here, we understand what this country has to offer. If you grow up here and you have it all given to you, you get a little, you're not aware of what you really have. It's the little things in life. It's the roads. It's no potholes, libraries, public school system, law enforcement, fire departments. I don't think people know how lucky they are to be here. So when you come from the outside in and you see all these things, it's easy to work hard.
Well, thank you for sharing your American dream.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Lourdes and Amaryllis are both featured in American Dreams. They're both from Cuba, but they never met until right now. Ladies, what do you have to say to each other?
Give a hug. Oh, yes.
Tanto gusto en
que Dios la
conocerte,
bendiga.
Mariles. Dios te bendiga también.
Gracias. He oído tanto de usted.
Tanto.
And now they're going to tell us what they just said, because unfortunately my Spanish is limited.
We just said, nice to finally meet.
We finally meet, and it's so wonderful to meet. And God bless her.
Oh, God bless her.
Another
Yeah.
sister, another Cuban sister.
Yeah.
Luz Quaquera, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, was in the movie. Please forgive me if I've massacred your name, but unfortunately I don't yet speak Spanish. So you're in this film. Why was it important for you to be in this film? And tell us your story.
I think it's important for me as an immigrant woman to tell my story, but also to acknowledge that there are so many immigrant families just like my own, and just to show them that we are good people, that our story is a story of hope and pain, challenges, but in the end, I think by embracing this country and by contributing every day with our work and what we give to our families, we become someone who really loves this country, whether we were born here or not. So I think it's important for everybody to tell their story.
When did you come to this country? How old were you and how did you come here?
I came here 17 years ago, but prior to that, I emigrated from Peru to Canada, and it was a time of unrest, political unrest and terrorism. And just like anybody else, I wanted to give my family a chance to have a place where they can grow in peace, but also an opportunity for them to realize their dreams. And United States, there is no question, is the land of opportunities where anybody who has big dreams can accomplish them.
Do you think that many people in America, they think more of things like Machu Picchu and going on vacations when they think of Peru, as opposed to maybe that there was a time when there was political unrest?
I think everybody talks about Peru. First of all, the food. It's so good, but also, they talk about Machu Picchu and the Nazca lines and all those places that are very exciting. And yes, many people may not know about all the social problems. Today, Peru is in a better place. I think we've made strides in terms of trying to suppress the violence, but still we have so many problems just like any other Latin American countries. And that is very volatile. It can change from one day to the other one.
Do you think that part of one of the attractions of the United States is that we are such a melting pot and a smorgasbord and a rainbow of all different things?
Yes, definitely. I think the United States is very diverse. I look at this more than a fruit salad, where everybody has different flavors, different colors. And also, it's a place where you can have freedom and you can enjoy peace.
Well, we are very happy that you are a part of our fruit salad and living your American dream.
Thank you so much.